One of the things that I found most beneficial and helpful when beginning the Students Taking Charge model was actually just having that framework of a schedule. And that kind of helped me plan out logistically how could this work in my classroom. And I first looked at my STEM block and my ELA block and kind of scheduled around when is our main lesson going to be happening, and then what are those other times during that block where students can have that choice and that freedom for those negotiable and non-negotiable kinds of tasks. And so once that schedule was built and I kind of understood how this can look in my classroom, it was a little bit less scary to implement it and start using it with the students.
Signing up for small groups and independent math applications, and on the other side, small groups and independent reading applications, and we can do vocabulary too.
Another aspect of the Students Taking Charge model is having those negotiable and non-negotiable items. So on the schedule, it's listed for the students that daily they need to complete some type of independent math or science application depending on the main lesson, and then some type of independent reading or writing application depending on the main lesson of that day. And that can look like answering a text-based question, writing a summary of a science concept. So it all kind of is different, but it's something that students can complete fairly quickly but show their understanding of the concept of that day. And then once they have those non-negotiables completed, they have their choice of those other activities. So it might be a math menu. It might be that they're watching a video that's posted up to Google Classroom from LearnZillion on a math concept and taking notes. They could be doing a quick science lab or taking notes on their science textbooks. For reading, they might be doing vocabulary and word work. They might be doing text clubs. They could have some type of reading enrichment, working on their research and inquiry through their unit tasks. These small groups are based on the essential standards that we as a team have pulled out and have planned for our unit. They are also based on the skills that we are working on during our main lessons. So depending on how I see students doing on those formative assessments based on our essential standards, or just how I'm kind of perceiving how students are doing during the main lesson, is what I'm deciding to offer as a small group lesson. So if our main skill we're working on rounding and estimating, I might see, I see that there's a deficit and some students still need to practice on rounding to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000 before they can be successful with some of our larger numbers. And so that's just how I approach deciding which mini lessons to offer to students. And if they see, okay, I was only at that moving forward, I was only at the getting started on this particular skill, that means I still need more assistance in order to be successful with it. So I need to find that mini lesson that's based on that skill, that standard, and I'm going to sign up for it. There's 2 mini lessons offered each day for STEM, and then 2 mini lessons offered each day in ELA, again tied to those essential standards that we're working on. And students in the beginning of the day are scheduling those small groups into part of their schedule. For those students that are mastering and are proficient at those standards, they don't need to sign up for a small group, but they certainly can join in. Most of them are able to decide to move on to those enrichment activities, those extension activities that are offered through our choice schedule.